Dirt roads to rock crawling, two-buck chuck to screaming eagle, moonshine to 50-year-old single malt. We talk about it all here on Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey with your hosts, Jason and Chris.
Welcome to the Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey podcast, bonus episode. Woohoo!
We like bonus episodes. It's kind of a fun thing to do.
Bonuses are nice. They are nice.
Because we give till it hurts.
We do give till it hurts. And we haven't said that in a while, but it is true. We do give till it hurts. And the holiday season's right around the corner. So, got to sit down with this individual here at Trail Hero. We had made arrangements prior to getting down there because, it's just crazy down there. Lots of wheeling, lots of fun, lots of activities.
Non-stop activities.
It is. And so none other than shecrawls, Leah Hockman herself, got to sit down with her on a hot afternoon. Every afternoon was hot there at Trail Hero. But we hopped into the Studio L, air-conditioned studio, thanks to Predator generators and Harbor Freight. So,
Not sponsored by yet.
But. Not yet, but we'll try. We'll try anything once. That's what Lorenzo said. That's his motto. But anyways, got to sit down with Leah. She's super cool. And she told her story like we love to hear on the podcast of basically how she started, with nothing, started from the bottom, and now we're here. She's got a badass four-steer competition, moon buggy. Mm-hmm. And she does know how to wheel it. So she's an advocate for women, and we get into that and a lot of cool stories. So, I think without further ado. Is that like a deer?
A
female deer, a doe. Let's, the Knob Creek is talking to me here. Let's go ahead and listen to that episode, shall we?
Yes, sir.
All right, we are here at Trail Hero 2024 with yet another guest. This event brings out the best of the best, and I am happy to have you here in the Lance Life camper here, Studio L we call this. Leah Hockman, shecrawls. How are you, Leah?
I'm doing well. I'm just trying to survive the heat out here.
God.
Can't complain though, because I'm here.
There you go. Well said. Everybody has been tolerating it, but it's been early morning runs and late night runs. Middle of the day, everybody's searching for some sort of AC.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you can hear it in the background here, but Chris will edit that out. But yeah, we are trying to stay cool here on Saturday, the final day of Trail Hero. So where do you hail from? You're out on the East Coast there or something.
I am one of Virginia's lovers.
See, that's great. I love it. So let's get into your background of how you got involved with off-roading and to where you just drove up in a badass four-steer buggy to our camp. So let's go to the early beginnings. When you got kind of what sparked the bug to off-road and do some crazy stuff there.
I grew up, riding dirt bikes on the power lines and things like that. But actually, when I met my husband in 2009, he had a 1-ton axle buggy on 43-inch tires, tube chassis that he had built, and introduced me to the world of rock crawling. That was like before sticky tires were really a thing.
Right.
And, we had an NP 205 transfer case in there, big heavy bitch, and like that thing would just hog through anything. And he let me drive it. And that's where he fucked up. From then on, it was just my obsession. And all I wanted to do was drive that buggy. And it was just arguments on who was driving. So we did that for a few years, then we settled down, did the family thing, took a few years off, sold that rig, and then, couldn't stay away from it for long. So we're like, oh, let's just kind of, stick our toes back in, and we got Jeeps. That didn't go over too well after having, been driving a buggy.
Uh-huh.
We got a 2015 JK Rubicon and built that out. It was beautiful Jeep. It was mint. It was such a mall crawler. We destroyed it. There's not a clean panel on it now. People won't even park next to me in the parking lot.
It's all raisined up.
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. I mean, we still owe money on it. It's
Oh, no.
it's fucking out of control. God forbid we have to do an insurance claim. I mean, they would probably look at it now and total it.
It's total just sitting there right now.
Yeah. But so we were driving the Jeeps, and knew all right, no, we got to have a buggy. So he came home one day with a rear steer moon buggy for me. It was a Toyota Suzuki based rear steer, rear engine moon buggy. It was a trail car. It looked like a comp car from afar, but it's really a trail car.
Okay.
I mean, you can only do so much on those Toyota axles and that setup, and I was really pushing it. I put 39-inch red labels on there.
Wow.
So I was really pushing it to its limits, and I got really comfortable in the rig. Learned, the rear steer pretty well. I learned the rig limits. I could take that whole buggy apart and put it back by myself pretty much. I re-geared the transfer case after I split the first one in half, and went through many CVs or bursts on the axles, and I could put a new axle shaft in 30 minutes. But I got really, really comfortable in that buggy, and then I wanted to start competing more, and quickly realized the rig was holding me back. I just got tired of breaking things and having to fix them, and not really being able to push the limit in that car and do more stuff. A lot of my friends had portal cars that I was wheeling with, or at least they were on Dana 60s. And I would do my best to keep up. I mean, I was right there, but I wouldn't be able to do the exact obstacles they were doing often, and it just killed me. So
what year was this?
I got the Toyota Suzuki base. I just called it moon buggy.
Okay.
I got that in 2021 or
Okay.
2.
All right.
Like it might have been January, like 21.
So 12 years
22.
ago or so. All right.
Yeah. So decided I was competing in New Hampshire like a month or two ago, and sheared the hub studs during the comp. Ran down to camp, started extracting them, couldn't get them all out. I was just cussing. I was like, I'm just done with this car. It's holding me back.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just want to compete and do more. And it's a good trail car. It is. And I mean, people who've wheeled with me in that car, they know it does good on the trails. But for competing, you can't pick your line. You got to go through the cones.
Sure.
So we got back to camp, and I'm sitting there trying to get these hub studs out, and I was only able to get like 5 of them out, and then I had 15 minutes left on break time, and I was like, fuck it, we're welding the flange back on.
Oh, wow.
Carnage had just hooked me up with one of their Carnage welders.
Okay.
So I was like, fuck it. We threw the flange on, welded that up with the Carnage. It was like a NASCAR pit stop, like all hands on deck. Like I'm strapping in, the buggy's still jacked up. They're putting the tire back on, like putting, tighten up the lug nuts. And then I pulled out. I got right up to course with 2 minutes left on breakdown time. Was able to finish the comp that day. So at least did that. Didn't do great, but I at least finished the comp. And came back to camp, and my friend Steve was there, who had the portal car I bought for sale.
Okay.
And I said, Steve, I'm going to sell my buggy this weekend, and I'm going to buy yours. And they all laughed. They laughed. They said, good luck.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we hope you do that. And he already had it on the trailer, and I was like, I'm going to go sit in it. And he's like, all right, I'm not taking it off the trailer, though. And I was like, it's fine. I'm going to go sit in it, though. And I don't know, maybe like 3 hours later, I came back to camp. I was like, I sold my buggy.
It just got real.
Yeah, and they're laughing. They're like, what'd you get, $15K for it? And I'm like, nah, much, much more. And then I just, kind of blew their socks off without how much I got for it. And sure enough, he dropped the buggy off at my house on his way home from New Hampshire back to North Carolina. He dropped the portal car off at my house in Virginia, and I went up to northern New Hampshire and dropped off my buggy to the new owners.
Okay.
Or moon buggy. I won't lie, I cried a little bit. I had some emotional attachment to it. I learned a lot. That car taught me a lot. Taught me how to work on things myself, be independent. I did 20 Flex Rocks rollovers, 24-hour hell and back in that car. I experienced a lot in that car. I had some emotional attachment to it.
It's like a kid.
Yeah, and kind of. But yeah, so, I said goodbye to it and, gave him spare parts and everything and left out of there. And as soon as I got home and hopped in that new portal car, though, with that supercharged 3800 and ripped a couple cyclones in the backfield, I was like, fuck that moon buggy.
Yeah, right.
I was like, this thing is awesome. And I had seen Steve Milano competing in that car in X-Rock Extreme comps. And, I mean, that's the most extreme rock crawling comps, I would say, other than, Trailbreaker and maybe when Supercrawl was still around.
Sure.
I've seen that car do incredible things. I've seen Steve podium in that car. I knew it was an extremely well-built, capable car. So, I was very fortunate to be able to scoop it up, and I'm loving it.
That's awesome.
First time wheeling it, though, has been out here on the West Coast.
So you literally got about 2 hours seat time?
Yeah, I got about 2-3 hours seat time on a Tuesday morning with some other Portal Posse friends, I guess.
Portal Posse,
that's what we call ourselves now.
The Portal Posse.
Yeah. So I was like,
love it.
Feeling so cool. And we did I guess it was joint effort.
Love joint effort.
Yeah, double Sammy, some trails up there. And I kept right up. There was one obstacle I did opt out of. It was just like a real wide crack. And, I know the car could do it. I know they could have spotted me through it, but I just didn't want to push it.
You got to feel comfortable in the car.
Yeah.
And that's a very admirable trait because, you're saying, I know the car can do it. The car's very capable, but I need to learn what this car feels like. You knew your old car inside and out, right?
Yes, exactly. And I have to learn, the limits of this car and, just kind of feel things out. And I didn't want to hold up the whole group if I were to fall down in that crack. And then, I know out here the traction can really fuck you if you have to be recovered. Yeah. You can just break a shaft being recovered because of the traction.
Sure, exactly right.
Because I spent 10 days at Area BFE in the old buggy. So I knew
There's
I knew a little bit.
gnarly lines out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that place. And Rob, he's a great guy. But, so got a couple hours seat time in it on Tuesday. I've just been busy, go with other things. I really wanted to be at the LCQ and Trailbreaker. I had some good friends in that, and I wanted to be there and support them. And then I've been, busy. I'm sales manager, business manager. I'm jack of all trades with Axle Off-Road Helmets.
Yeah.
So I've been, helping Axle up at the vendor booth get things set up and feet on the ground. Talking about the new DOT helmet we have out.
Cool.
And then Jake Good messaged me and said, hey, I know you said if a spot opened up in Sportsman A, you wanted to...
For We Rocks.
For We Rock.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, hell yeah. Let me find a spotter. And randomly knew Abe Crony was flying out here and wasn't going to have a car. So we connected, and he said he'd spot for me, and... So we did it. I was, a little hungover, but I went out there and did it.
That's awesome. And you did well.
Whenever I compete, my goal is to do better than I did last time.
That's a good goal. That's a respectable goal.
Yeah. I don't want to put pressure on myself. And
just do better.
It's, it's about having fun for me. You're not winning millions of dollars competing in rock crawling. So, I feel when you take it serious, absolutely be passionate about it, but don't take the fun out of it. And I wanted to go out there and have fun. And I didn't have, I wasn't, thinking I was going to go out there and win. Obviously, it was I've competed, but this is only my second time in a We Rock comp. First time Abe spotting me in a car I only had 2 hours of seat time in. Super capable car. So we just went out there and had fun, and I landed 2 points shy of the podium, and I really, I beat some West Coast people on their home turf.
Good for you.
Can't complain about that.
You cannot.
So I had a good time. I mean, I was super stoked and happy with coming in fourth. Two backups is what kept me from the podium, and I'm happy with it.
So talk about your car. What do you got out here? This thing's pretty badass.
So it's a custom tube chassis. A guy out of Virginia Beach built it, Virginia Beach area. I want to say it was built like 2020, 2019.
Okay.
I could be wrong on that, but I think that's what's been relayed to me. I've got a 3.0 Atlas in there.
Okay.
Toyota drive shaft. Trail gear housings, 8-inch Toyota thirds. I've got Brannick inner shafts, RCV 3899 outers. Running on Dirty Life beadlocks, 42-inch BFG red labels, portals. Got the Hummer portal boxes, and then all the other inner C's and all that stuff, I believe, are all Jesse Haynes fabrication. And
what's the engine?
And then I've got the good old supercharged 3800 in there, pushing, close to 300 horsepower. My old
cool.
buggy was 90 horsepower on a good day. On a good day, we them squirrels would do their
really
thing.
Sing.
Yeah, they would sing. But I got to actually utilize that horsepower in the comp. I had to back up and bump it, and I launched through a gate. It was the best feeling.
That's cool.
I didn't even hit the cones. I launched straight up through that gate like a fucking rocket.
I love it.
To the moon. It was awesome. And I think I'm going to have to say that's my favorite part about the new car.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The extra whoop house?
Like old Danny Benner Motorsports.
Yeah.
Got whoop how. Love it, though. So, I've got a lot to learn, though. I got to get a lot more seat time and in that car. It's super capable. I just, maybe I'll be super capable one day.
Well, and that's it. And we've talked about it a lot on this podcast. I mean, it's like most people, when they get into four-wheeling, even they've been four-wheeling for years, their vehicle's more capable than they are. And very rarely have I met people where they're more capable than their vehicle, because they're always upgrading, right? But it's cool to hear that you knew your boundaries. Like out here, it's like, no, I don't want to do that crack right now. I need to get some more seat time in this car and feel comfortable, because it really is. You become one with the vehicle, and you're feeling it. We call it mechanical sympathy, right? It's like, and it sounds like you're pretty mechanically inclined. Like you feel your car when it's binding. You know when it's under a load, or like, okay, something's going to snap right now if I freaking hit that skinny pedal. Yeah. So, that's the key. You
absolutely got to feel the car. There was one point in time in the comp, my spotter was telling me one thing, and I wasn't trying to ignore him or piss him off, and I was like, just let me work this out for a minute. Let me just work the front and rear steer at the same time. I may not know this car, but I know how BFG Reds work. And if I just keep working these tires back and forth, they will find their sweet spot, and I'll be able to crawl this. He wanted me to back up and bump it again. So, once I bumped it the one time and got over that, got the front tires up over that breakover, and then I was able to just work the front and rear and finally find that traction and crawled up it. So I do know how the BFG Reds work. Those I am a diehard BFG.
Pretty incredible
girl for sure. But I can't remember what we were talking about before I went on that tangent.
I was just talking about mechanical sympathy and everything with the car, learning the car. Absolutely. The car's new to you. You've got what, 3 hours of seat time in that car or so.
Plus 30 minutes from the comp.
Right?
But so I'm really loving it, and you can have the most badass rig out there, but if you can't drive, it don't matter. The car ain't going to drive itself.
No, it doesn't. You're absolutely right. And I've seen it before, where people have,
deep pockets,
a lot of money, and they buy something crazy capable. I mean, you can see it in the side-by-side market all day long because those side-by-sides are pretty damn capable right out of the box and will go fast, and they'll go fast in the whoops and everything, but the driver's not capable, and that's where accidents happen.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, I've seen it with people that I have wheeled with. They got deep pockets built. They got this badass rig, put every whatever stuff on it, and they just can't drive. So I love when people come up with you work your way up through the ranks. It's you're paying your dues, right? And especially if you're mechanically inclined, you don't have to be mechanically inclined, but if you're mechanically inclined and get a rig and you build it up and you just and you appreciate the lockers because you never had lockers before. You appreciate the BFG Reds because they're crazy sticky, and you never had stickies before. You had DOTs, whatever it is, and you work your way up to that point.
Yeah.
It's a cool progression. But when you go straight from 0 to, 65 and you got this crazy badass whatever, but you can't drive it, you don't appreciate it.
Yeah, it makes no difference.
Right.
And, you find a whole new level of appreciation for your rig when you work on it yourself as well. And you learn the limits and the brake, and you got to fix it yourself. So you're like, well, I'm not going to do that again because this sucks.
So talk about your mechanical aptitude there. What do you do? What can't you do? What are you comfortable with? Let's talk about wrenching a little bit.
Well, when I got the moon buggy, the first one, I said to myself, I want to be able to take this thing apart and put it back together myself. If I'm out wheeling, and I'm out with all these guys on, Portals or Dana 60s, and I break my Toyota shit, it's going to be on me to fix it.
Right.
And I want to be capable and learn how to work on the rig myself. I want to know everything about it. And, that's that. And so I just, learned how to do everything myself. That's it. I mean, what can't you do with some YouTube videos?
I was going to say, so YouTube's like, who've been some of your mentors? Or I know you cross paths with quite a few people. Anybody? I mean, I'm sure a lot of people help you out and willing to show you things and weld whatever. Anybody and everybody. I got connected with the Toyota community. Brent didn't know, a lot about Toyota stuff either. So there's a learning curve there. Big inspiration was Myron Thorson with Zooks Off-Road. His videos for the Suzuki stuff were great. The Toyota stuff, once you learn it, it's fairly straightforward. But there are some tricks of the trade and things that you can only learn from people who have, are diehard Toyota people. And that's just kind of where it picked up. I've always been the kind of female that I can do it myself. I want to do it myself. I'll figure it out. Let me figure it out. Like, I don't care if I fuck it up. Like, let me fuck it up a couple times and then I'll figure it out. There you go.
So that's just kind of where that started. And then the idea of shecrawls becoming a brand kind of came about. And I just wanted to inspire women to do what I was doing because it was so empowering to not be dependent. You can do this as well. You can learn.
Jessie Combs.
Absolutely. She is a huge inspiration to me. I just picked up her Lincoln welding jacket and gloves.
No kidding.
And I'm not hers personally, but the Lincoln's, Jessie Combs inspired welding jacket and gloves. I did the Jessie Combs run at EJS in 2023. That was amazing. Be out there with Amber Slauson and Holly. And
I like
people.
how you used Amber Slauson. So Amber's a good friend of mine.
Did I just like?
You just
did I just like TMI?
So
did I just call that out, Amber?
So their wedding was a few weeks ago on the Rubicon, and as soon as the wedding was done, I fixed a nice steak dinner and stuff for them. And I go, Amber, how soon are you changing it on the social? She goes, oh, tomorrow morning. And
Exactly. It's already changed on the socials, so I didn't let the cat out of the bag.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I love, we've had a lot of, the Amber Slossons, you, Leah. I mean, many women on this podcast.
I can't put myself in the same category as Jesse or Amber, but they are major inspirations to me.
You can. I mean, you guys are all out there. You have the same attitude. That's the key right there is like, no, I want to learn. I want to figure this stuff out. I'm willing to listen and learn from people, but, let me figure it out. And that's
I'm
key.
Hands-on learner.
Yeah, see, and a lot of people are. I am too. But that's awesome. I love to hear that because, Jessie's legacy lives on. I mean, we all loved her. She was just such a cool person, to be around. And the knowledge that she had was incredible. And the inspiration was obviously still going on here years later. So that's good to hear. Right on.
Absolutely.
So
I love it. So I'm all about empowering women to push the limit and, if you want to do it, freaking do it. Learn how to do it. Go out and do it. Put your hands on it, For me, when you try to give me verbal instructions, that's when I'm like, huh? But, let me get my hand on the wrench. Let me get behind the welder. Let me try it. Let me figure it out. You can't learn, if you don't.
If you're not doing it.
Yeah, if you're not doing it.
So that's cool. So we actually did that this week a couple days ago. We're sitting here, BSing at night or after dinner over some libations. And I don't know who brought up the subject, but we go women's run tomorrow. We're going to let all the ladies drive, because they were like, I kind of want to try some of these lines and stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah.
everybody let their wives, significant others, whatever, drive their rigs.
I love
and we
that.
went out and we said, the morning's for you girls. Just go out. You pick the trail. We'll be there for support if you need us. And it was super cool. They did some, Rhonda over here did Wall of Doom,
You fucked up, right?
I didn't fuck up because I don't have a wife.
Okay, your bank accounts are going to be suffering because now they're going to want their own rigs.
They fucked up, not me.
They're going to want their own rigs now.
Exactly. That's how it starts.
Yeah, it is. I love that.
It's crack.
I love it.
And that's what we tried to get them to do some of the cracks out. We joke around, the crack addicts, whatever. And out here, you can do some mild to crazy wild cracks. And it's like Rhonda's husband, James, good friend of mine, we've been dabbling in the cracks with our drag axles. And we did some pretty gnarly stuff this trip. And the consequences were severe if we slipped in. I slipped into one crack that luckily we were able to recover from pretty quickly. But yeah, we become crack addicts too out here. But anyway, that's what I love about this place. You can push your limit. Every time I come out here, I learn something new and I push my limits. Anyways, yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, I would say the big difference on the wheeling between East Coast and West Coast from my brief experience, the consequences are higher out here.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, East Coast, West Coast wheeling, and it's like, West Coast, you have traction. You can just do anything out there. And it's like, but the consequences are much higher out here. You have to know how to navigate and drive this terrain. The traction is great, but it will also screw you.
Screw you because you're in a way worse situation?
Yeah, and you'll bind up real easy. If you do need recovery, it's a higher risk of breaking through the recovery because of the traction. And it's just a lot higher consequence wheeling, like as we saw with little Charlie out in the trail breaker.
Oh my God! Yes.
Yeah, the terrain. I mean, thank God Almighty, a guardian angel was watching over him and stopped his car right where it landed. But and he's in a well-built car. And I'm sure he would have been safe, but. It's much higher consequences out here, and it's different. To me, when people say East versus West, I'm like, it's apples and oranges. You just can't compare. It's just they're very different. Terrain. Out east, we've got trees and we've got moss-covered rocks, and you might roll out east, and a tree's gonna stop you. And it's just much different.
Sure. Yeah, I got to wheel out there a couple years ago. I didn't personally wheel. I got to ride with Ian Johnson and James and Rhonda. We went out there to pick up their buggy and stuff. And it was cool because I've seen the YouTube videos, you watch stuff out there, but to physically be out, and it was raining one of the days we were out there, it was wet, sloppy. It was. I mean, I felt like I was in a rainforest, It
is. It's like you're in that movie, Fern Gully or something. It's like, it's like, where are the fairies?
But it's all about, you gotta freaking hit that skinny pedal and get some traction to get up some of the stuff.
Yes and no. It depends on where you are on the East Coast. We have different types of rock out there. You've got the granite and the
marble.
The marble, yeah. Well,
the
that's where
marble.
you're the skinny pedal. A lot of the skinny pedal on the East Coast happens at AOP.
Yes.
In Tennessee. That is, I've never wheeled like that in my life. Like when I went there.
That's where we were at.
Yeah. There you go. That's what. Okay, so skinny pedal wheeling on the East Coast, you're at AOP.
So I loved one of the greatest lines that Ian said when James just got this buggy, V8, Jesse Haynes goat-built buggy, 43 stickies, all this stuff, And James is like, being careful, brand new seat time in this thing, trying to feel it out. And he's like, just kind of, as we crawl here on the West Coast, it's like, okay, just slow and steady. And no. It's Ian Johnson
if it's
says,
rained at all at AOP, you're not crawling
Ian
shit.
Johnson says you're in the South. Come eat. Just give it all you got. So he did that.
The plus side to being at AOP when it's wet, the probability of breaking stuff is low because there's not much traction to get bound up and break stuff.
No, there is that.
I mean, you get, if you're an idiot and you put your shit in an undercut, you're going to break something, but I mean, if it's just you got a clear line and you just put the pedal down, you're just gonna launch up stuff there, and it's fun. It's not my style of wheeling. I like more technical rock crawling, but that's definitely fun every now and then. And AOP is a wild place, and the people that wheel there, they're a different breed. The local people, the AOP regulars. My first time there, I pulled into the park. I look over, there's a Toyota-based buggy with 43-inch tires on it, and I was like, what the freaking AOP is that? Like, what? It's like these little Toyota rock bouncers running monster tires on them. I'm like, how do they not break stuff? And then I got out there and saw, experienced it, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, that makes sense now. But
here, they would be breaking axle shafts left and right all day long.
But never in my life did I know a Toyota rock bouncer. It's an AOP specific rig.
I love it.
We went down there to pick up some 42-inch red labels because that is not the tire of choice down there.
Uh-huh.
They are very anti-BFG down there.
Okay.
So you want a killer deal on some reds, find somebody around AOP trying to get rid of some.
That's a good tip.
Yeah. To check out Southern Tennessee when you need to buy red labels. They'll sell them to you. They ain't worth shit to them out there. But, yeah, I had a blast out there at AOP for sure. My favorite place to wheel out east is called the Good Evening Ranch in Canvas, West Virginia. And amazing people own and run that place. They treat you like family. It's a smaller park, but the wheeling is awesome. It's extremely beautiful. They're also a horse ranch. And I hosted my first off-road event there, actually, this past April, called the Shecrawls Shakedown. I didn't expect much. I was like, maybe I'll have 100 people show up. That would be cool. Almost 300 people showed up.
Holy smokes.
I was like, my head was spinning. I was not prepared for that. But the beautiful thing about it was everyone that came was very capable. It was advertised. We're not trail guiding. This is a small park. If you get lost out here, you're an idiot. You come out here, you need to be capable. You need to be able to do your own thing. I'm not taking that liability. You're paying the park for your wheeling, not me. I'm providing a band. I'm providing a food truck. You get a free event shirt. You get a free meal from the food truck. We're going to have a band. The park is providing barrel racing where you get to take your Jeep or your buggy into the
Nice.
horse arena and do, the barrel
That's
racing
cool.
in your off-road rig.
That's cool.
It's a blast. And the band was awesome. And, so for $60, you got the event T-shirt,
Holy
you got
smokes.
the band, you got the barrel racing, you got one free ticket for a meal from the food truck. And, you got the community there. You got 300 people together who just want to have a good time and go out and wheel.
That's cool.
So it was a beautiful thing, and that's what I wanted. I felt like there's a lack of just let's have a good time trail
Sure.
ride event. Let's have live music. Let's have food. Let's just have fun and all enjoy
Yeah.
what we all love.
Cool.
So it was a blast. Am I going to do it again? I'm on the calendar, but it's a lot to put on an event
Sure.
like
Oh,
that.
it is. It is.
It's a lot. So
So how did She Crawls come about?
well, on Instagram, I saw like off-roading was really big, having an Instagram for your rig and your off-roading adventures. And, and I don't really know how I came up with the name She Crawls. I knew I liked crawling, that type of wheeling. And
Sure.
I wanted to emphasize on the fact that, I'm a woman out here doing this just to inspire other women. And, it just happened. And, I'm kind of have this entrepreneurial mindset with anything I do. And I thought, how can I turn this into a thing? And it wasn't about making money. I mean, if you're making money on apparel, like, that's wild. That takes years and years to accomplish. And it wasn't about that. It was about wanting to build a community where women can feel empowered. And, there can, let's be honest, there can be a lot of pettiness between women. And I wanted to, create a brand and a community where women didn't have to worry about that, where they knew that they could reach out and be supported and inspired, and we can learn from each other and we can encourage each other, and just like what Jessie was all about. And that's just kind of, it's still a baby, it's growing. And there's times where I'm like, fuck this, you get one bad apple, and
Sure.
it's people think running your own business is so glamorous.
Oh,
You don't get a day off.
You're rich and all
no,
this stuff. Yeah.
Hell no. You're working on vacation. You're
Yeah.
working all the time.
Right.
You're putting a new fire out every day.
Exactly.
You're outsourcing this or that, but nobody cares about your business like you care about it. And there's times where it gets out, but then I look at. I've had some young ladies come up to me out here at Trail Hero and ask to take a picture with me.
That's cool.
And then I'm like, this is why I do this.
Exactly.
This makes it all worth it, and that's super cool to me. And, I have my own daughter, and she's not super into the off-roading thing, but, just to know that you have, little ladies or even other women that look up to you, it's just incredible. I want to inspire, but they inspire me.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
it goes both ways. It absolutely does.
Yeah,
Absolutely
they
does.
keep me motivated, like absolutely 100%. So
That's awesome. And this event, as we've talked about before here on this podcast, it's like, it's not crazy King of the Hammers, but it's scaling up, crazy amount of people, but the families that are out here, and you see, all different rigs from mild to extremely wild. The best, arguably the best rock crawlers in the world
I
are
love
out here.
The rig variety.
Right?
It's the spice of off-road life.
It is. And then, but you see all these families out here having a good time out on the trails, and you could be on a 9-10 rated crazy buggy trail, and right next to you is a 5 or 6 trail.
Yeah.
And today I heard kids laughing out there, and having a good time, and I'm like, this is so cool. It's such a unique off-road area,
Yeah, Rich and
compared.
Brandy do a great job putting
Yeah.
this event on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
to watch it grow as it has is really cool. And I don't know, something like $17.8 million they brought to the economy last year here in Hurricane. So I'm curious.
Best thing you can do when you put on an off-road event is give back to the local community.
Well, and you know, obviously this is veteran based and military based. It's like, hey, let's support, and that's, you know, us as off-roaders, we're 100% America on high. Yeah. So it's just really cool. All like-minded individuals out here, obviously. You know, flying the American flags. I mean, almost everybody, you're supposed to have an orange flag on your rig, but almost everybody has an American flag on their rig out there. So that's cool. So let's talk about skiing real quick, because before the podcast we were chatting and you said you like to ski.
I do. I love to ski leisurely.
So what's your favorite place to ski?
Well, you know, being from Virginia, obviously I don't have many options, but my favorite place within reasonable reach out there is Snowshoe Mountain in West Virginia. It's the second highest elevation mountain in West Virginia. It's at 4848. They have like a certain type of spruce pine tree, whatever, that only grows at certain elevations.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's the closest you're going to get out to out west skiing on the East Coast. And you go up there after a heavy snowfall. It's like a fucking Hallmark movie. It's beautiful.
That's great.
It's beautiful. They have a little village at the top with shops and restaurants.
Oh my gosh.
And it's beautiful. A bit long, wide trails. I've never gotten to ski out west, but from what I hear, it's the closest. Yeah, it's the closest to what you can get.
Okay.
And unlike, I guess, many places, the village and the lifts and everything are at the top of the mountain, and you ski down and ride the lifts back up.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
So things are not based at the bottom of the mountain.
Yeah.
And they've got high-speed lifts, and they've got everything from mild to wild, and you know, it's a really cool place. It's a really big spot for, I guess, like BMX. They do.
Oh, okay.
They have
During
really
the
cool.
summer?
Yeah, they have a really cool BMX. A lot of big races. Red Bull, Monster. Those guys out there. I don't really know much about that stuff. But it's cool. But yeah, so during the summer they have that, and sometimes they put on music festivals and stuff out there. But yeah, I love to ski. I really tried snowboarding, and I was like, I'm just too old for this.
I said snowboarding is for people that don't know how to ski.
Or yeah, skiing's for people that don't know how to snowboard. But snowboarding is for the elite coordinated people. But hey, I the coolest people ski. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I mean,
for sure.
Minus Shaun White, but I mean, you can't.
There you go. That's true.
You can't deny
that's true.
He's cool shit.
Absolutely.
But, you know, nobody's cooler than Glenn Plake.
I was going to say, so you got to meet Glenn and Kimberly Plake.
Yes.
I developed a relationship with them, you know, years ago here at Trail Hero.
Yeah.
And he was one of my idols, looking up to him. And then, you know, we started four-wheeling together, and I'm like, this is freaking surreal. What a crazy world.
Oh, yeah.
But for them to cross over...
I lost my mind when I found out they were into off-roading, too. I was like, oh, my God, we could be best friends. We are kindred spirits.
Absolutely. And they're so nice. And, and it's fun to go out wheeling with them because Kimberly is driving... You know, Emmy.
I heard she's an incredible driver.
She is incredible. Well, here's the deal. I have come to the conclusion both of them are absolutely fearless.
Yeah.
They've done so much crazy shit in their lives that they are absolutely fearless. And, you know, we went out on some crazy runs, you know, over the years, and it's like I'm sitting there with sewing machine leg on the frickin' brake pedal, you know, on this frickin' incline. And I look over at Kimberly. Yeah. She's got the radio cranking, eating some snacks. Like, hey, isn't this fun? I'm like, holy crap, get me to the top of this hill, you know? So they're so much fun to wheel with. They're so extreme, right?
I love that. I love that. Yeah, absolutely. Like, getting to meet them out here was just, like you said, surreal.
Yeah.
And, I mean, and the nicest people you'll meet. So friendly and welcoming, and, you know, I'm on the jam rigging winch line team with Jim Markham, and
Perfect.
I talked to Jim about it, Glenn, before, and how cool it'd be to meet him. And Glenn's a big jam rigging guy, and
Sure.
Jim made sure to get us connected. And we're at the We Rock thing after I got done competing. I went up there and was hanging out with Jake and Glenn, and me and Glenn both had our jam rigging winchline team shirts on. I felt so cool. I was like, yeah,
That's
me
cool.
and Glenn on the team. Honestly, there's some really incredibly talented people that Jim only puts the best of the best on the winchline team. But as he said to me, I have more peas in the pod. It's not about that I'm some kind of podium driver,
Sure.
because I'm not.
But
one day I will be.
You will be.
But,
You're working your way there.
Yeah, but I support jam rigging however I can.
That's cool.
Jim's got the best of the best out there. He is a hands-on. He walks the talk.
Oh, he totally does.
Jim busts his ass out there, doing the recovery. He loves it.
Yeah.
He'll take a
passion.
group of he's wheeling every weekend out there in Cedar City, taking people out,
Yeah.
and for him, the smiles he sees on everyone's faces out there, he doesn't care.
Right.
He's just he's spreading the love of off-roading, and Jim's just an incredibly wonderful person, and I'm feel very honored and fortunate to get to work with Jim and Gayla. She's just a sweetheart. So I'm a big jam rigging person. I'm diehard BFG and jam rigging.
There you go. Well, and it's great because they're supporting us as off-roaders and stuff, and then you as a competitor, and it's great. It's great to see them, like you said, walk the walk, talk the talk. And he was out there during Trailbreaker, in that freaking 100-degree day, and unfortunately we had a few recoveries to do.
Yeah.
And they were right there in the mix, making sure everything was good.
Absolutely. I won't work with a company if I don't see that they give back to the off-road community.
Yeah, perfect.
It's and I won't work with a company just because they want to give me something free if I haven't purchased and used their products and
Sure.
believe in their product. When someone calls me an influencer, it rubs me the wrong way, and it's like, no, I support the companies that support the off-road community and
It's a partnership.
the products that I believe in.
Yep.
I work with Trail Gear, Yukon Gear and Axle, Jam Rigging, PRP. I've got these companies out here that I see giving back, and they're all out here, and they all sponsored my event, and you got to support the companies that
Sure.
you see giving back. The companies supporting those out there, keeping the sport alive, supporting the future generation of rock crawling. That's big to me.
Yeah, absolutely. No, 100%. No sellouts. Right?
There's plenty of them out there, but
Right. We're not going to name any names, but
No.
that's key. Stay true to your brand. That's what you are. That's you're a passionate person. I can tell just talking to you here, and that's key. No BS.
yeah, I try not to bullshit, and I'm the sweetest, most kind, friendly person you'll meet, and even if you do me dirty, I'll still smile right in your face. I'm not going to let you bring me to your level.
There
You
go.
know who you are.
There you go. There you go. There you go. All right.
But yeah, I just I do this because I love it.
Yeah.
I don't do it for any other reason. I'm not out here to try to make a living off of it. I'm selling screen printed T-shirts.
Sure.
It's not about that. It's about I love it.
Well, you said
I'll
it.
go wheeling any day.
And the rewarding part was having some of these ladies recognize you and want to get a picture with you and like, hey, you helped me get into four-wheeling or start working on my vehicle or whatever it may be. That's super cool.
I have guys come up to me too and like, hey, I showed my wife and now she's driving my Jeep because I told her about you, or
That's cool.
we saw you on Flex Rocks rollovers on YouTube, or and it's like, that's cool.
So let's talk about that because I was just going to bring that up. Perfect segue. Let's talk about Flex Rocks Rollers 24-hour challenge. How crazy is that? Because I watch it from my living room while I'm eating dinner, comfortable, maybe sipping on a little whiskey, going, fuck that.
Well,
So
I'll
talk
tell you
about
what,
that experience.
You run on adrenaline, you know, and Marvin, he picks the right people to run, in the challenges. He only picks people who are passionate about off-roading, and you know, so it's not hard to stay awake and do the 24 hours as a driver. Now, this last 24-hour hell and back, I was just down in Alabama, Tennessee, somewhere abouts in there. You guys will have to wait to find
you have
out.
to wait till that video drops.
And I was film crew.
Okay.
Before 2 a.m., my Apple Watch told me I had climbed over 118 flights of stairs.
Oh, jeez.
I had walked 18 miles, and then my watch died. That was at 2 a.m.
Oh, my
It wasn't
gosh.
over till 10 a.m. It was... That is the true hell and back.
Yeah.
Being part of the crew, the film crew.
Uh-huh.
I was like, I'd rather have drove this. Like, and when I say that, I really wouldn't have wanted to ever drive this is the most craziest hell and back
Really?
you'll ever see. The most extreme hell and back you will
Okay.
ever see.
Okay.
Like, I saw this stuff and I was like, let's just say Jake Berkey was involved. We'll leave it at that. I was like, y'all are out
Rock
of your
bouncer.
y'all are out of your fucking mind. And I mean, I'll tell you what, it was incredible. Warren was very deeply involved. Brad and Sergio were out there, and you guys just wait till you see this one.
Cool.
It's going to be amazing. I did the 24-hour hell and back in New Hampshire, I guess a year or two ago, and Field and Forest out in New Hampshire. That place is one of the most wild, extreme places you can go on the East Coast. Bob Swinsky and Liza own Field and Forest out there in Harrisville, New Hampshire.
Okay.
And we all have this joke. There's no good wheeling in the Northeast.
Nice.
You go out there and you might want to move to New Hampshire.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Pretty
it's
cool.
a must place see, a must place.
Got a wheel.
Yeah, got a wheel place.
It's like Rubicon.
Big boulders.
Really?
Yes, and they have traction.
Okay.
They
Okay.
do.
We like
It's-
traction.
It's an amazing place, and it also looks like a fairy tale land. The like Jurassic ferns and moss on the rocks. And
Really?
it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So
That's
I
cool.
really enjoyed the experience, and I work with Marvin now and help out with Flex Rocks
Sure.
rollovers, whatever he needs. And you know, Marvin's good people, and he's very, very passionate about what he does.
Yes.
Very passionate, and all the respect for Marvin and what he's doing with Flex Rocks rollovers. It's been a joy to watch it grow.
That's cool. Yeah, absolutely. No, it's like I say, as a YouTube viewer, it's fun to watch.
Oh, yeah. And Marvin believed in me. I mean, we randomly met. I was out at AOAA running that man-made mammoth trail. And I did it and then didn't get to finish it. And then I saw him and they were doing the ultimate, some YouTube off-road thing out there. And I asked if I could come and run the mammoth with them again. And he was like, hell yeah, come out. Nicest guy ever. I went out there and, you know, I didn't wench or get hemmed up once, and I'd only been in that buggy for about 6 months, but you know, they're in full size, you know, Jeeps and
Sure.
you know, full size rigs out there. You know, it's nothing to brag about when I'm in a rear steer moon buggy. But you know, I think he saw me out there and how much I loved it and that I could keep up, and then that's how I think I got my invite to the 24-hour hell and back. I was nobody. Like, nobody heard of me, and I was new on the scene, on the social media off-road scene, you may say.
There you go.
And, you know, he helped me out a lot. Like, you know, Marvin did some really awesome things for me and made some big things happen for me. He believed in me, and Marvin will always be a good friend of mine.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super
and let
cool.
me tell you, Marvin can wheel.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, that man can drive. Like,
Sure.
he's not one of these YouTube
Right.
bougie mall crawler influencer. Like, Marvin fucking wheels.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and that rig that he wheels is large, and
it is. The Jeepster is very big rig.
to get that through some of the stuff. It's
Oh,
like,
but he takes it through buggy shit.
yeah,
He's
exactly,
fucking crazy.
Exactly.
I love it.
Yeah, that's super cool. So what's the future hold for you that you see here, Leah? What's some of your admirations? What are you thinking? You just got this buggy. What are you gunning for?
I just want to wheel more.
I just want a wheel. I love it. Love it.
I just want to wheel all the time.
That's perfect.
I want to compete more.
Yeah.
I really do. I want to get into the comp scene more, and I firmly believe that you have to wreck wheel more than you compete to be good out there on the course.
On the car, right?
Yeah, but trail wheeling is where my heart is.
Yeah.
And it always will be. Just out there with your friends in the woods, just shooting the shit, having fun. Somebody breaks, everybody chips in.
It's nothing like it.
It's just a lifestyle.
It is. It really is. We're on day 8. We just our 8th day wheeling in a row, and last night we had a little mechanical issue with James and
beer break.
Yeah, pretty much. But what's great here is that we're camp's close, so it's like, okay, what tools do we need? What parts? So we need a fuel pump. Blah blah blah. Well, it turns out he was out of fuel, but we'll.
I ain't got no gas in it.
I got no gas in it.
Been there, done that.
So I'm sitting here going, oh my God. But anyways, so it was kind of a late night last night, but it's so much fun just being out there with your friends,
Yeah.
And it's go here, and it's like, okay, yeah, we got to meet that 8:30 time to get on the other side of the tunnel and get out there and wheel. And yeah, wreck wheeling's so much fun, but to do it competition level, I haven't done that yet. I kind of want to do it.
Try it out.
But
come out to a Wee Rock and give it a try.
Absolutely. And
if you feel too pressured, it might not be for you. And I felt like that when I first tried it out. But now that I have a more capable car, I feel a lot more confident, and it's fun. It's fun to get out there and challenge yourself, and you really learn a lot about your car out on the course.
I bet.
You really do, and I like it. It's off-roading is a hobby. It's an industry. It's a sport. It's,
how many people have you met in the off-road industry that are your closest friends now,
Most all of them.
Right?
Most all of them.
That's your tribe right there.
They are my tribe. And the off-road community are the best people you'll ever meet. It's family.
So like we say, bad roads bring good people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool. I love it. Love it. You want to wheel more. Leah, how do they get a hold of you?
You can find me on pretty much any social media platform at shecrawls. Hit me up there anytime. You got a question, you're looking for a discount from a company I work with, I'll do what I can for you there. I've got some discount codes with some of the companies I work with, I'm happy to help support those companies that support me and give back, and I'm happy to help anyone out there with anything, just hit me up anytime. I love to chat. If you see me out here or anywhere, please come say hi. I'm actually quite shy, but if you come say hi to me, it means the world to me.
That's super cool. Super cool. Get a selfie with Leah.
Oh, God. I love a good selfie.
There you go. Well, that is awesome. Appreciate your time here, sitting down at Trail Hero 2024. So cool that we were able to connect, because this week is just like so crazy. Everybody's out doing everything, and we were texting back and forth and made it happen. So I appreciate your time. And you got out of the heat a little bit in the AC here.
I was going to say, it was the perfect time of the day to take a little break.
Right.
So I love it. So thank you guys so much for having me. It's super cool to be on your podcast, and keep doing what you're doing. We love it.
It's all, we're all passionate. We all contribute in some way, and we just talk into mics here and get the stories out there. I love all the different stories and people we've met. So
it's it's a essential part of the community.
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah.
Keeps us all connected.
Absolutely. It fills in the windshield time in between trails.
It does, and unless you get to know people, you think you know someone based off social media, and and you really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, you just don't. You got to talk to people
Yep.
to know them. It's not about what they post.
100%. 100%. I love it. Well, there's Leah, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of cool tales. She is on the rise, so keep an eye on her. If you're not following her yet on IG, shecrawls. There's no underscore, nothing like that. She actually has a blue check mark. I should have asked her what she did to get that. If she paid or was it given to her?
Yeah, I don't know. We don't have a blue
I've
check
been approached
mark?
several times, but it's like, oh, send us $400 and you'll get a blue check mark. Huh. Just noticed that.
And Wheeling Wine and Whiskey is officially broke right now, so we won't be buying any blue check marks.
We are, Lorenzo, he's on his last bale of hay, so we are going to have to get generate some funds to get some hay because he's starting to panic over here. I said, now you know what it's like, when we were, paying all your bills when you were in Mexico having the time of your life.
They don't take hay for chips at CVI?
No, not at all. But anyways, Leah, that was cool to get to sit down and get to know her better because I didn't know her that well just from what I've seen on IG. And she's involved with Flex Rocks and Rollovers. Watching that whole Marvin go out and do all the crazy 24 hours of hell and back and everything. So we got into that. That was awesome. And Axel Off-Road, the helmets. Axel's Marvin's father. So, the whole tie-in there. So super cool. Like I say, keep an eye on her. She's going to be kicking some ass here at We Rocks and these different competitions and just out for wheeling in general. She's back east, but she does come out here to the West Coast and she's got to let me know when she comes out to Fordyce and Rubicon. Told her we got to do that.
Absolutely.
Some Sierra rock crawling. Some of the beauty here in the Sierras. Looking at the mountains now. It's a beautiful day.
Soon to be blanketed in snow, I'm sure.
Yes. We had a little dusting last week, but obviously that melted off. But more is on its way. So, yeah. So that's that one. Bonus episode here. We crank out all these different ones, and I just didn't want this to go. We're already a couple weeks after Trail Hero, and trying to keep current here. But there's so much going on at Trail Hero.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you've covered a lot with that, and obviously there's some conventional, regular, traditional, standard episodes coming from you and I pretty soon. We have a lot of topics to cover. We have a lot of catch up to do between voice messages and reviews that have been coming in. Thank you so much, everybody, for all that feedback, because it certainly helps, whether you're doing it on Spotify or you're doing it on Apple Podcasts. We definitely appreciate that. Certainly helps with our rankings. And, obviously there's a lot of business we need to catch up on. So, of course, the holidays, as Jason mentioned earlier, are just around the corner. I have children's birthdays coming up. I've got, Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas, New Year's. I mean, it just seems like we were just talking about summer last week, and now we're starting to talk about all the winter activities, man.
It's winter time. Gear up, man. Get the tracks for your rigs.
Speaking of tracks, I think Tyler's are for sale.
Yeah, he's still got them for sale. I think $11,000 or something. He said.
That's hashtag Jason money, man.
No. I want if I get tracks, I want to get them for the side by side. I almost bought some last year, but it just was not a financially sound decision, so I stopped. But someday, I want to do search and rescue up here, and that would be a nice, arrow to have in the quiver. Mm-hmm. Especially, working. I'd like to help out Nick at Avalanche Technical and stuff, and he's getting involved with the search and rescue up here, and just a different type of vehicle to get at stuff. So we will see.
Yep.
All right. So I think we should put a bow on this thing.
Sounds
A little
good.
over an hour here. This is good. And thank you, Leah, for sitting down and sharing your stories with us and taking some of your time. That was fun. Got to wheel with her a couple times too. So that was great. Always love going out there and wheeling at I almost said Hollister, Sand Hollow with anybody and everybody.
Right.
I may not be able to keep up, but I'll try.
There you go. Do the best you can. That's all we ask.
That's right. And with that,
We're out.